Two. My name is Retro. I'm joined here by some of the nerds, and we are here for the first time this season with Champions League. Summon, are you excited or as excited as I am about this?
Oh, I'm very excited. Arctic Wolves versus Lumina. These were our first and second places last game. Last season even. Arctic Wolves actually went on to win it overall in the finals, whereas Lumina dropped first place in the actual Champions League itself. We've seen a couple of roster changes coming into this straight away. Immediately, you'll notice on Lumina, they've traded out Jono for Ultra, and most notably on Arctic Wolves, you will see Chips instead of Kezel. But again, it's going to be really exciting. I'm really looking forward to the game we've got ahead of us. I know I say exciting a lot, but this is, come on, Champions League now.
It's big.
This is the Champions League. This is very big, very exciting, and interesting for us to be on this map. Every time we've seen, so for everything from Wolves so far, Chalet has actually been banned 100% by them. So I'm hoping they've got something in their back pocket here. I mean, to be not banning Chalet for once and actually be bringing us here. Whereas looking at the side of Lumina, they don't really tend to ban this map, so they might be quite strong in it, which is something that the Wolves need to be looking out for.
Definitely. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting seeing what Arctic Wolves are able to bring here. And, Lumina might have been expecting Arctic Wolves to ban Chalet, just because they always do. So now them not banning it and actually bringing them onto that map might be, putting some question marks on the side of Lumina, because they're like, oh, I don't really know how to attack or how to, go up against this team on this map, because we've really never seen them play. There's no VODs, maybe some scrims over the past few weeks, but overall, it's going to be a surprise to them just as much as it will be to us. But as we finish that up, the bans have also finished up, and walk me through those. What are your thoughts on how they banned out these operators?
Looking at the history of these two teams before, typically we'll see Arctic Wolves ban a Mirror and a Dokebi 75% of the time, which we haven't seen either of these times here. And the other 25% of the time they'll ban a Cade, which is also still in play. So this could say that we're seeing something completely new here from these guys. However, on the side of Lumina, 75% of the time we'll see a knock ban, which we are seeing here. And then the other 25% of the time we see a Valkyrie. Both of these are very typical from Lumina bans coming up against Arctic Wolves. I think this is very much a counter ban. However, both are very powerful operators and can be banned in regular play. But looking at this here, Valkyrie tends to be in play a lot more than other operators such as Mirror or Mai even, which is another one of Lumina's most popular bans. So I think these are definitely some specified bans.
Definitely. And interestingly enough, seeing Arctic Wolves bringing the smoke could actually be very, very interesting seeing it now, as of course today is the first day of the new season. So seeing Smoke now, who has lost his shield and brand this new patch notes, he's got proxies now, which is going to definitely be a different style of defense for them. And another different style of defense is Tash being very, very aggressive here. He sees the head of the Iana, but sees it way too late. He was already dropping down the hatch by the time that he saw that. Has to drop away in that moment. And the engagement that could have been, unfortunately, doesn't bring us anything right now.
No, really close there, actually. That's one blunder, so it's really not important. Start of the game, there's going to be lots of others, and it wasn't that big of a blunder at all. I would have missed that by a mile. I wouldn't even have seen the Iana clone coming in there. As I speak, my curse strikes the first time this season as Tash actually does pick up boost. Finally finding his Iana kill. Very good from him.
Finally finding that kill, so it was an engagement that kind of lasted a little bit longer, and Ultra here with the drone onto the Melusi could be getting the kill, but unfortunately whiffs just a little bit, doesn't find it. Twift and Park, however, find a piece of their own. Solar's finally finding the refrag onto Park, leaving Lumina Gaming in a 2 versus 4 now. They did deny that flawless round, so we're not going to be seeing it just yet. Ultra still with that drone. Can't really do much as he's, of course, being pressured from inside the bedroom as well. There goes a Logic Bomb deployed from Solrus. The Warden drops down that was the Melusi or Mai that dropped down the hatch. Unable to pick up the kill there. Tash taking Twift taking a lot of damage. Solrus finding the kill onto Tash, who did drop away, so he was expecting him there, and the drones finally found him on that flank as well. Minute to go. 2 versus 3. This is not that bad of a situation for them to be in, especially as they do still have that hard breach. All 3 of those Selmas still intact, so they're able to breach that wall, giving themselves another entry into the site. that bulletproof camera is giving them a little bit of trouble as they're unable to really push the side of Piano all that much. Solars on the window trying to pressure from there. Swift getting a little bit aggressive here to counteract that pressure. Well, my magnets and the ADS is catching a little bit of that utility that is being deployed, and it's just a noob from all the way deep inside of Piano to pick up the kill onto Solars. It's all onto Ultra now, fit about 20 HP inside of sight. He sees one player that jumps onto the bed, Chips, somehow surviving with just a slither of HP, and it's Twift with a flank from inside of top fireplace to pick up the final kill, win the round for Arctic Wolves, and we've got a match going.
Park is actually already confused about what's happening, and we can see there just why they do ban the one. They banned my 50% of the games that they've had against the Arctic Wolves, and really showing us why there. We also saw that lovely new charm at the end there, which is really, really important to see, and it was really nice to look at. So having a look at it, in the open qualifiers, the Wolves for the first season actually went 5-0, completely undefeated, which is what we saw from the same likes of 5-star. And then we also saw Lumina go 4-1.
Wow.
So yeah, two big plays there. Looking at the bans, however, they kind of reflect a little bit more as to where we are. I mean, you see the Solace ban, who was banned 39.5% of the time against just in general on defense. So yeah, important to look at and definitely important to see. So as I mentioned earlier, Lumina actually placed first overall in the Champions League, with the Arctic Wolves even, sorry, two teams called Arctic. The Arctic Wolves actually placed in second. I'm Just Too Noob, or Gumley, actually had four. He had 4 MVPs,
Wow.
whereas Roolo had 4 on the side of Lumina, but he has since been subbed out. Yeah, we don't actually see Gumney in here today. I believe he's being covered for by Twift, which isn't much. I don't think that's much of a disadvantage. Oh, never mind. I just haven't. Yeah, sorry, just didn't see Gumley. I went. Apologies. Yeah, we actually do. No, we do.
We see.
We see. We do see Gumley. I'm Just Too Noob. Just was looking for Gumley.
You are just too noob.
No, I'm Just Too Noob. Yeah, I am just.
But yeah, the round has well and fully begun. They are defending the bar and gaming side, and very interestingly, they have decided to not even open up the hatch inside of library. Oh, Maggie getting so close there to maybe picking up the kill into Twift, but unfortunately, they miss each other by just pixels, and both get out of it largely unscathed. Twift rotates around downstairs, Park still holding onto this shield on this chimney position, one of the most important positions for him to be holding onto. And of course, they are working with only one shield this time. Normally, they would be working with 2, but of course, as I mentioned, Smoke lost his shield in place of those prox alarms, so they are unable to actually bring that shield as well. Or rather, they are bringing 2 shields. I missed the other shield on the side of Park, the Warden, but they normally would be bringing the C4 there and, of course, the shield on the Smoke. But they have to rotate things around, rotate their strats around, and do something a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Twift coming off worse in that Magi gunfight, just losing just down to his last bar of health. Did well, though, to damage him. I mean, that's still important nonetheless. I strike again as Biff picks up Oost in a very, very impressive kill. Really, really well done there by Twift.
That was very, very important. I really thought that they would have that, as Oost was covering that. He was waiting for that flank, but just wasn't able to hit those shots, and Twift gets out of it more successfully. They're now starting to rain with that vertical pressure. Those soft breach charges and those impact lifelines coming out from the Zofia as well to try and deal as much damage to that soft floor as possible to open them. Another entry, and Tash with a run out finds the kill onto Solras. That is, the floor is gone. I think he might have been on drones as well to try and clear out some more of that utility. Ultra still in that hatch. Maggie rotating around the window. Zet, I think, was looking to try and maybe pressure down those libraries. There's another run out, and Tash is successful again. Zet denies the flawless round as he takes down Park, who is holding that flank for his teammate. Twift finds Zet, and it's all down to Ultra. A couple of those defenders are on low HP, but he's got such little time that it's not going to matter for much. He finds one, but he's immediately traded out by Twift on the other end of the hallway. Arctic Wolves take the second round. and a round that, I'll be honest, felt very, very long. Lumina were quite slow with a lot of their attack. They kind of got a little bit quicker there in that final minute, but up until that point, it was a lot of just gathering information and not a whole lot of movement, which could become a problem if they don't start to pick up their pace. Because, of course, we just saw Ultra unable to do anything with just a few seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, definitely really well played there by Wolves. I mean, managing to get 2 runouts, that's very impressive there. Lumina just left their attack a little bit too long, I think. I mean, they did get a lot of low health in. They did a lot of damage, which is important, but they just couldn't quite find those frags in the end, and they just didn't have the time to execute their attack. Really good use of utility there from the side of Arctic Wolves. We only saw 2 Toxic Babes used, which are the smoke canisters. And 2 of those were actually in utility, and they stopped that push entirely. It was really, really well operated. I mean, how Tash was allowed to stay there so long and continue to run out is unbeknownst to me, but really well played by them. They've really shown their own so far this game, and I think there's definitely more to see from Lumina. I don't think this is the end of them.
Definitely not the end of them. I mean, they were the favorites to win it all last season, and they're a very, very strong team, even with a few of those roster changes. I mean, the core hasn't really changed of Maggie, Zet, and Solros. They have been that core of the roster for such a long time, so I don't think much has changed in the way that they play and in a lot of their strats. It's just about finding their footing, and of course, it's only round 1. Should they even lose this round, God forbid, or this I guess this round, of round 1, should they even lose it, it's not the end of the world, because there's 7 weeks of this. There's going to be so many more games for them to play, and 1 loss isn't going to mean much if, at the end, they end up a little bit more successful.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a BO2, so if they lose this first map, it's not really much of a damaging blow. There's always the second map to bring it in and give them just a few more points or balance out the score sheet a little bit more. So yeah, it's important that they win it nonetheless. I mean, always is, but it's just as important that they hold their own and they continue to show a good game. If they do lose, and they are able to pick it right back up again.
Yes, as we waste a minute of our time here, Lumina trying to find any of these roamers, or as many of them as possible. Park getting pressured quite a lot. There goes a bait with that frag grenade. SMG-12 in hand. He's whiffing just a little bit on the same SIG operator of the Dokebi. He gets picked up by Ultra, and they clear out that they clear out those roamers quite a bit. The rest of the defenders all downstairs. Clears Lumina the entire mid floor for them to try and set up for this execute.
Yeah, I mean, but good job by Park nonetheless. I mean, he managed to waste quite a lot of time. I mean, we're already sort of a minute and a quarter left. That's really not very much time for Lumina to push through, and they still have to clear that floor because they're not sure if there's another roamer. But now they're forced to make sort of a bit more of a rushed play. Well done by Park. Shame you couldn't pick up a few more kills, but excellent roam clear on the side of Lumina, not losing any health. Really stacked up and really showed it.
Definitely very, very good, and now they're in a position to maybe get these breaches opened up as Ultra rotates down there into the trench area. Hatch opened up as well from inside of kitchen, using this Gaunt 6 to clear out that shield that's on pillar, but it gets swallowed up by an ADS. Twiff goes down to Zet. Chips blind, shooting some fire, trying to stall them for as long as possible. And just a noob does find Oost on the backside. Chips having to reload his Shamika launcher. Unfortunately, can't really engage in a gunfight. Zet on fire does pick him up, and their plan's going down, but Tash and Jim's just a noob find a couple of their own. Tash picks up Ultra, and ultimately it's Tash with the Deagle that finds the final kill, and a round that was all Lumina goes to Arctic Wolves. How?
I mean, I was quite lost at the end there. I mean, that was a really, really good match. I mean, Lumina just looked like they completely had it there. I mean, down to Chips having the Shamiko launcher out as the player turned the corner, which was unfortunate for him. I mean, Lumina just looked like a really promising attack. They were diffusing, but Tash really showed us some skill there, and he picked up all those kills. Really impressed with him. Really, really good round. I mean, the Deagle kill as well. Not something you're going to see very often. Definitely going to have to make the most of that. Well, yeah, definitely. Well, either flashy or out of bullets. Either way, still impressive to see.
Yeah, I really have no idea how that happened. Lumina just really did not have the necessary cover, or maybe what we did see from them already, from both a few engagements from Ultra, a few engagements from Maggie as well, and of course Oos being the opening death so far almost every single time, or at the very least being the opening death for the side of Lumina. That was the only round where he wasn't the opening death in general across the map. It could just be that they're mechanically struggling a little bit right now. They're just not able to hit those shots and win those one-on-ones, and that could become a serious problem if they don't fix it. But it also, I mean, yeah, I was gonna mention how, you know, maybe it's down to the fact that it's a defender side of the map, but that really wasn't what happened there. They had the round and they just sort of fell apart, and I really worry for them as we reach halfway point through this half, and they're down nothing to 3. Arctic Wolves have their entire site rotation unlocked again.
Yep.
It could become a problem for Lumina if they don't start to fix some of these small mistakes that seem to be snowballing into bigger issues.
I mean, in Season 2, looking at it, it was a defender-sided map, but very minorly compared to some of the other maps we're looking at. I mean, only 52.3%, which means a good majority of the rounds were actually won by attackers. It was played 9 times, whereas the likes of Oregon had a 61% defensive side rate. I mean, so it really shows that although it is, a defender-sided map, it's not as bad as we've seen in other maps. I truly don't know what happened to the attack there. I mean, it looked like it sort of just fizzled out towards the end as they sort of rushed in. I think they thought they had the man advantage, and it looked as if they were sort of wasting bodies at the end there, sort of like you do in a ranked game when you know there's one guy left and you all run at him. As I strike again, Tash finds his kill onto Solros, which is a big pick, as that's the buck, which is a lot of soft damage being used up there, and a lot of utility gone.
Yeah, halfway point through the round, the first death has struck. That was Tash from a vertical angle onto Solros, who was trying to do a little bit of damage from below, of course, with that soft breach. Lumina have gone for a completely different approach to attacking this site. Last time they went for a library over push, now they're trying to go for a Solarium push instead. Park taking a lot of damage, and Tash finds 1, finds 2, finds 3. The round is over. Oh no! I was just about to say it might actually work a little bit better for them because they have so much room on that side, or rather it's so much more closed off that they could find a little sneaky corner to get in for a plant, and if they have the cover they could do it, but they had no cover, no information, and they keep letting people just walk up to them and kill them. It's happened every single time. It happened in the first round where they just let I think it was Tash. They let him pick up a couple kills from those flanks, and then the second round they again let Tash, or I think it was Twift actually, there pick up a kill onto Oost inside of a bathroom on a flank, and every single time they're just letting people kill them, and it really is starting to become a problem, as now they're down 4 rounds. They're at quite a big deficit, and they'd be lucky now to find even a single round, let alone 2 rounds, to put themselves at a bit of a better position as they go into the side switch and onto their defensive half. This really could be a problem, or it definitely is starting to look like a problem. It maybe didn't before, but it's going to be trouble.
I mean, absolutely brutal. It looked like there was, I believe that, I think it was almost all of them. I mean, there was like maybe 4 players left on the side of Lumina as they were stacking up against the 5 players of Arctic Wolves, which is a good number to have. I mean, actually going into an execute on the site. Not ideal, obviously you'd rather have the 5 and the 4 the other way, but still 4 players left alive against the 5 stack split. That's not a difficult win at all. Definitely still winnable. But Tash just was able to get behind and absolutely tore them up with those bullets. I mean, they were all lined up for him, and I mean, there was just no way that he just showed really good mechanical skill. Really impressed by him. I mean, you can see on the scoreboard now, Tash is leading with 10 kills, which is actually, I think it is more than the whole Lumina roster combined together.
Yeah, definitely very, very impressive from him. And as they go back, actually, as they go to defend a completely new side of Kitchen and Dining, finally they find an opening, taking down Tash, the player that we were talking about so much, but Twift finds the trade, and Ooze, the victim of Arctic Wolves yet again. The first one to fall down. Park taking quite a lot of damage here, still upstairs, getting challenged from multiple angles. Minute gone. They've done a good job of taking care of some of those defenders, but Twift again on a rotate and on a flank finds his kill onto Solros. Zet taking so much damage, unable to pick up a fight against them. Just a noob. Ultra and Maggie again in a 2 versus 4 situation to try and win something here. Twift again on the flank, could be finding success. He finds one. That's his third in the round. Maggie taking a damage from a goo mine that he's been stuck in, and he goes down to Park. Timeout requested by Lumina, and I mean, it's really just not looking good. Their main problem that I'm seeing here right now is just a complete lack of information and a complete lack of awareness and a complete lack of any sort of flank watch whatsoever. I would apologize for the visual bugs as well. It's the first day of the season.
Cleared itself out.
We really can't really do anything about it. It's the new season, but just ignore it. Just pretend like there's numbers there.
Really well. I've just been pinged in the chat. Any chat you do see here, these teams have a friendly rivalry that goes on. It's not actual harmful toxicity. But yeah, I mean, what is happening to Lumina? They're just not clearing out those roamers. They're just allowing their flanks to be open. I mean, Ultra wasn't even watching the stairs when he swung around that corner there, despite knowing that there was a Jaeger on the roam. I mean, are they not giving each other calls? I just don't understand what's gone wrong with Lumina. Usually they're quite a formidable side, and I'm very impressed with the way they play, especially strategically. They're a really impressive side. But looking at it now, I mean, it's just not what we're used to.
Yeah, definitely not what we're used to. I mean, we already said they were one of the top seeds last season. And I think that they were definitely favorites to win it all, especially before those roster changes that struck them at a really, really bad time just before those playoffs. So this is really not something that you expect from a team like Lumina, even with those roster changes, because they've had quite a long time. You know, some of the teams that maybe had to requalify or anything like that, they might have that excuse. But Lumina have had time with these people, with this roster, to set up certain strats and to find themselves. And Arctic Wolves, who don't play Chalet ever, find themselves quite an advantage here and are looking to find even more of it. And I worry for Lumina.
Yeah, I mean, they're really, really dubbing up now. I mean, I just don't understand quite what's happened to Lumina. I mean, Arctic Wolves, they've just, lost for words, truly. They've come in here after never playing this map before, and now they're very suddenly sort of impressing us. They're taking their way through it by storm almost. I mean, this is a blitzkrieg if I've ever seen one. 5-0, not even one round going to defend. If they win this next round, that is a 100% defender-sided map, and this cast might be a lot shorter than we hoped it would be.
Yes, but Lumina are looking to gain themselves a little bit of pressure here as they rushed into sight. Couple of kills coming out. There goes another. They're already going for the plant. It's all done to just a noob and Park to try and win this round out. They're both find themselves inside a fireplace. One top, one bottom. Park trying to flank from above. I'm just a noob does find one. Through the wall, Park finds it down onto Soros. I'm just a noob having to rotate. Park gets his finisher. 30 seconds on the clock for that diffuser. They're going to have to hurry to try and win this round. Lumina are looking good. They're holding those crosses. They're waiting for Arctic Wolves to push into their crosshairs. I'm just a noob aware there's going to be a player inside of Mudroom, but it's Ooze that wins that gunfight. Ultimately, Park, posted by his own petard of not opening that hatch sooner, gives away his position of being upstairs. That time is gone. There's no chance for him to defuse. It's all about just trying to boost up that KD a little bit for confidence and for bragging rights. But the first round, or rather the final round of this half, but finally the first round that goes to Lumina. And it was all on the back of a rush the Arctic Wolves weren't expecting in their final attacking round. They're going on to defense now, and well, unfortunately for them, they can't rush again. They can't do something like that, something unexpected like that, to penetrate Arctic Wolves' defenses. They're going to have to be the defense now, and hopefully they are able to put on a comeback here and not let it all go to waste.
I mean, They're well played by Lumina. I mean, the rush went really well. I mean, it got close at one point when they got into the 2 versus 3, but they had their crossfires set up. Good round from them. Arctic Wolves just weren't quite expecting it, and it caught them by surprise. Either way, the 5-1 split is incredibly good and really, really important for them. A 5-1 split is just absolutely incredible to go into the attack side with. Granted, it is a defender-sided map, as we said, but it shouldn't have been that defender-sided. I'm wondering if Lumina are going to be able to return it, but judging by the lack of being able to get through a bathroom, I'm not sure if we will.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, but
I'm sure Lumina are going to show us just what they're made of.
Yeah, I really hope so, and I really hope that we just saw for a brief moment, for I think the first time, that new gadget of what is it called? An observer blocker? I think it's called like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's an observation blocker.
Observation blocker that we saw Park bring with the alibi, and I was really gonna talk about it, but then there was just no time. So, and Lumina now aren't bringing it, so there's really not much really to discuss about it without actually getting the visual of it. But it's a very, very interesting gadget because it denies specifically drones and any type of utility. So, Rotera drones or regular drones or Brava drones, Blood drones, whatever, it denies them from seeing further on, so you can't really drone out some of the spaces, and it could really leave a blind spot for the side of the attackers. I really hope we get to see more of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's an interesting new gadget. I'm not quite sure. I think, yeah. So it affects drones' vision as they try to look into sight. I'm not sure if they can go through it. I think they can, but I think it will also. I don't know. I haven't used it enough. I mean, it's new season. I really haven't.
Yeah.
I really haven't tested it enough to understand just quite how it works. I don't know if it's a nice utility as well. But wow, Wolves already pushing up towards the site. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, site's below. But still, I mean, really impressive to be doing what they're doing already.
Yeah, speaking of that information, they've already gained quite a lot of information, knowing that there's a mirror, knowing that there's an echo has reached the halfway point through the round. They already have quite a fair amount of this vertical control. Twift getting a little bit angsty here on this closet wall. Who's taking a lot of damage from inside of office at the hands of, I believe that was Park. And there goes a C4 blown from Oost to pick up Twift. Oost finally not being a victim of that first kill, but I'm just a noob finds him anyway. 4 versus 4 now as we reach the final minute of the round. Solver still trying to hold on upstairs, finds one. Can he find the second one? He cannot. I'm just a noob finally takes him out. 3 versus 3. Both teams are there for the trades. Echo Drone still berating the attackers upstairs. The final one will get shut out. All of the utility has been extravagated from Ultra. Maggie holding on to his position inside of Trophy Room. 30 seconds to go. Zet is on a very, very far away mission to maybe go for a late flank, late push, whatever you might call it. Park taking a lot of damage actually on that Surya gate. They aren't able to actually spot out the defender still playing inside of Trophy yet. They finally find him, but he finds a kill of his own. Tash finding Zet on that very far away mission. Tash finding Maggie as well, and it's all down to Ultra. None of those Echo drones left in pocket, but they don't have the diffuser. Tash retrieves it. Can he actually get the plant down at that time? He finds him just a noob. Plant is going down. Tash will try to do it, and the final Echo drone is actually still alive, but he is not in a position to actually go for the deny. Plant will go down. 1 versus 1. Ultra gets shot through the wall, and Tash. It's another Tash show as he finds the final kill. Puts Arctic Wolves on match point as they win the first attacking round of this half. Unbelievable. What just happened?
Absolute outstanding there. I mean, the wallbang with a pistol really closed out. I mean, close with the fuse had me on the edge of my seat. Really thought Ultra would get it. I mean, I thought he had the Echo drone on him there for a second, but he managed to get the plant off. He managed to get the ball bang, and he managed to get the frag. Really impressed there. Tash again showing us just what he's made of. Unlucky on the side of Ultra. I mean, he tried, just missed with the Echo drone. I mean, he was very close with it. It was a real shame, but nonetheless, really well played by Arctic Wolves and Lumina Gaming. They both played very well, and it just got very close in the end.
Yeah, it was a lot closer than it should have been realistically, and it's just another round that was looking all Lumina, and it went to Arctic Wolves. I mean, we saw it before on that basement defense from Arctic Wolves where Lumina had everything they needed to win it, and then they just sort of threw it away, and it happened here again where all they needed to do was hold on to their positions and win their ones, and they weren't able to do it. We saw it. Zet and Maggie were both. Maggie was, or not Maggie. My apologies. It was. No, it was. Yeah, it was Zet and Maggie. Zet was on a very far away mission inside of Bar, tried to maybe go for a late flank. He got cut off, got killed. We didn't get to see the gunfight, but if that was another case of Lumina just not being able to win their one-on-ones, I said that it could become a problem, and it is definitely become a problem. But that was the last round, and I'm really curious about this setup that they have going on here in a potentially final round as they go to defend the top floor, that Tachanka, that castle. Very interesting. I'm curious to see how this actually plays out for them.
I mean, in order for Lumina to put this even into OT and to have an idea of winning, they're going to have to win 5 rounds in a row. I mean, that's 5 back-to-back rounds, which isn't impossible. We did just see Arctic Wolves do it. But, I mean, it is difficult. Certainly, it is difficult. It's not a map. It's a map that Lumina do know well, in fact, and it's not a map that Wolves know just as much, or from what we understand from the stats. But looking at the actual gameplay, Wolves are really dominating this game. Yeah, Lumina have got a lot on their plate now. I mean, 5 rounds is next to impossible to win for them, especially with such a strong AW side attacking.
Oh, wow. And the first kill comes out from Chips onto Silvers. That's the Wumai off the board. Maggie taking so much damage, getting berated by those frag grenades. Finds finally the kill onto Tash, using more of these Hiba berries to try and block off any potential sightlines or rotates for Arctic Wolves. 4 versus 4 as we reach the halfway point into the round. There goes Oost, the victim again. I'm just an open and Twift on the side of Library trying to push up those stairs. Park. Oh no, Zet is close up on the door. The Park is on the other side of it. He knew that he was there. Shot him underneath it. Shot his toes. Park finds another one. It's all down to Ultra. 20 HP against 4 full HP attackers. This is pretty much impossible, and Park proves it to be. Arctic Wolves take this map in quite the confident fashion. It's a 7-1 absolute closeout from Arctic Wolves. They take 3 points from this map, and I think the next map is going to be Clubhouse. I hope that Lumina are able to put up a better fight, because this really did not look like the Lumina that we expected to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting a lot more from the side of Lumina. That was intense. A 7-1. I mean, there was one round, like that one round. Can you believe that? How close that is going to the side of Lumina? Just the one.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, for a team that won last season, beating the Arctic Wolves before prior, really, really impressive. I mean, absolutely crazy that they've managed to win this. Just the one round. One is really mind-blowing. Now we're going on, I believe it is Clubhouse, which is a fun map. I love Clubhouse, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to it as well. I think just before we go, because we are going to be taking a little bit of a break before the 2 maps, so it's not going to be back-to-back, although technically. But before we do go on a break, I guess we should do MVP, which I don't think that there really is anyone else to name other than Tash. It just was absolutely explosive the entire way through. Such a vital player, and really proved to be the heartbeat of Arctic Wolves. Yeah,
absolutely. Tash really kept the lifeline alive. Arctic Wolves really, really nailed it then. Absolutely outstanding match from them, or half. Really, really good. Tash, clear MVP, and we'll see you guys after the break.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revival League Season 2 Champions League. We already know it. I'm Retro. This is some of the nerds. It's Arctic Wolves and Lumina Gaming. We're in Clubhouse this time. We just played Chalet. It was a 7-1 closeout from Arctic Wolves. Lumina are looking for points here. These points might not be all that significant in the grand scheme of things. There's 7 weeks of playtime, but they could be the difference maker between whether or not they qualify into the playoffs at the end of the season, or if they stay at home watching our streams.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, I do believe that I think it's definitely a draw at minimum for either team. But I mean, at the most, we're going to see Arctic Wolves win it, which is very important for them. That puts them ahead with a really nice lead. So yeah, really exciting game so far. Definitely. I mean, it always puts them at quite a large difference in rounds. Coming into the ban phase, we are actually seeing some more typical bans from the side of Lumina and Arctic. These are bans that we've been seeing from them sort of pretty consistently from the rest of the game, their games against each other. With the Jackal coming out as he's banned very frequently. However, the Maverick, Solace, are pretty rare in between these two. We haven't really seen those banned very often before when they've played each other. Mm-hmm. But looking at the actual league itself, I mean, these bans are pretty much typical. These are very sort of standard bans. So yeah, looking at what we're seeing now, we're seeing 2 of the operators that are banned 25% of the time. We're seeing the Jackal and the Cade. Those operators we see banned by Arctic Wolves and Arctic and Lumina in the times they played each other. Curious ban by Arctic Wolves is that looking at their statistics, I believe it's just a placeholder, but technically, Recruit is one of their banned operators.
What? I think that might be some sort of bug.
Yeah, it means
Okay.
it's a no ban, but
I see. Okay, because I was going to say that is going to be some sort of miracle for them to be able to ban Recruit. Plus, who really wants to ban Recruit? Although, as I say that, he is pretty stacked with utility, both on attack and defense. You can take your pick on which type of utility you want to bring. He always has frag grenades on attack. He can bring that LMG, which of course, about a year ago when it was the LMG meta, would have been an absolute tear through the meta. So definitely would understand why people would be bringing Recruit, even though he is slow. He can only ever be a 1-speed, which is a bit of a shame. But of course, the Recruit is just a staple of Siege at this point, and this is, I think, everybody's one of everybody's favorite characters. But as we head into this first round, Lumina Gaming this time are on defense first. In the Chalet game, they were attacking first, and that might have been, might have been the reason for a little bit of the blunders that we saw from them. So hopefully this time they're going to have a little bit more time to settle into the game. But they are defending that. Ooh, I thought they were getting shot from inside of cash room, but no, or inside of CCTV, but no, it was actually Park that was breaking that open. But yeah, Lumina Gaming are defending the gym bedroom first, and the first engagement already comes out. I'm just a noob onto Maggie, leaving that gunfight at just a sliver of HP, but overall the more successful player, and Lumina are already starting to fall down in this matchup.
Yeah, I wonder if it is maybe now looking at that, if Lumina just aren't winning their 1v1s and they're leaving too much up to chance. You'd think after looking at that in the first game, you'd start stacking players together. Granted, it's not as ideal, but at least then you'd be getting refrags, and if you're on the side defense and everyone gets one kill, even if you just trade every single kill you get, that means that you're going to win on defense every single time as the diffuser hasn't gone down. But
Definitely.
I mean, maybe Lumina are just picking up, just doing this on purpose. I mean, there's all sorts of tactics that go into Siege. I'm just curious what's gone wrong with Lumina's.
Yeah, I also wonder that as this. I mean, we spoke at length about it in the previous game. This is really not something that you expect from Lumina. But as we reach the halfway point through the round, Lumina are still holding pretty tightly with a lot of these positions. They did lose that player early on, but that gunfight, as I mentioned, did leave I'm just a noob on just a sliver of HP, and two of their players have taken a little bit of damage, but Chips deals the most damage onto Ultra, takes him down. That's the castle off the board. Not the most utility stacked operator at the moment. It's not as big of a loss as Zet would be, or even as Solrus would be, as those magnets still keep regenerating. Oost finds the kill onto Twift. That's a good opening here for Lumina Gaming to try and retake this round and try to find some semblance of a win. And I was actually wrong. I saw it wrong. They're not defending gym bedroom. They are defending actually bar stage, which is actually really, really good for them, as they still have. Wow, what a shot from Oost! Oh, what a brilliant flick onto Oost, onto I'm just a noob to find that kill, equalize the man count, and now wow, and another one. Oost is on an absolute tear through this team, and he could be finding quite a lot of success here for his team, leaving Chips and Park in a 2 versus 3. They finally gain entrance into the site, but is that going to be enough? Park still trying to hold on for any type of flanks. There's still players playing above. Plant is going down, or Chips did try to attempt it, but he had to get off it. Oh, Oost cannot find that kill. But from above, it's Solrus that finds Chips, and it's all down to Park, who goes down to Zed, and Lumina Gaming win this round. What a huge job there from Oost to find those early picks and to find those openings for Lumina, and then figuring out the rest of that game from the rest of their players to win that round. Really, really important to put themselves on the board first and to start gathering that momentum right away.
Yeah, really well played there by Lumina. I mean, Arctic Wolves put in the frags instantly, but they just didn't clear out that roam clear. Oost really made that hurt for them. I mean, they really left a scar there. 3 players without losing sort of a slither of HP at all. They were lucky to get the pick off on him there, but they just managed to get picked off from the top. Really impressive. Not seeing our Tash or Twift just as much here yet. They're our 2 top fraggers from last game, or I believe nearby. The two top fraggers are actually pulling 0 and 1 so far, which is nothing. I mean, it's first round, there's more to come. But just interesting to see just how things have changed. Could be now that Lumina are starting defense, they've got a newfound confidence after the first round. But still, really well played by Lumina Gaming. Really good round. Oost was definitely winning his one-on-ones, and that's something that we
Yeah, that is, and it's really, really important for at least one of the players to start finding those entries and to start finding those frags, as then the rest of the team will follow. You know, it will give them a lot of confidence. And of course, not to even take the success away from Zet and Solvers, who found a piece for themselves, a much, much better showing here from Lumina's. Of course, the only round that they won in the previous game was the back of a rush the Arctic Wolves weren't expecting and didn't even have players on site to cover. So Lumina Gaming actually finding those frags and finding that retake, very, very good for them to start this game off.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, looking at the actual last game, I mean, we saw the incredible shot from Oost, nonetheless, not to take away at all. Really outstanding shot went onto Gumley on the Ash, who was very, very, very low from the first round, from the first gunfight he took even. So even looking at that, I mean, it's important to think that that without that, maybe Gumley would have been able to pick up a frag, and that could have swung the whole match.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even right now in this attack, I mean, walk me through this attack, what Arctic Wolves are supposed to be doing here against this defense on the gym bedroom site.
It looks very much like the Arctic Wolves are pushing in from the other side of from the construction side. I mean, it's a good opening. Granted, there's only one door, but then they can open up into office, and they've suddenly got 2 doors and ways into site. It forces the other players to try and rotate over, allowing someone to drop behind and get behind. I mean, a clash is surely this is surely one of the first times we've seen the clash so far this game. But yeah, definitely really, really good to see. Really happy with the current match. I believe we are going to have a tech pause. Yeah, here's the flank that I was talking about. This is flank pressure from 2 fronts, forcing them to put their guns in 2 different areas and splitting the players, especially that clash. I mean, she's exposed to her back. She's got to stick to hallways where she can't be found, but that therefore makes her predictable and easier to counter. But I believe we're going to be seeing a tech timeout after this, as it is unfortunately a new season. Well, not unfortunately, that's a good bit. But the bugs that come with it is the unfortunate bit. As I speak, Oost finds his kill onto Tash, and that rounds out this top start.
Yeah, Oost strikes again, finding his first kill onto that star player from the last game, leaving only 30 seconds on the clock for the side of Arctic Wolves to try and find something here. Maggie just teasing the Ossa there on the Jacuzzi balcony park, taking care of Oost finally, but those flashes are going to get caught by these mine magnets, and he's going to take a lot of damage. Goes down to the player inside of Logi, who's not able to find his finisher at the moment. That time dwindling down, but Noob is in sight. He finds 1 kill, but he gets immediately traded out. That's T4, will not find anything. The player's going down, and Ultra goes crazy. He finds it despite the tech issues that he is having. Told him to Twift in a 1 versus 2. The diffuser is lost in sight, and Lumina Gaming find another round. Wow,
well
what a game.
Played. Yeah, really well played there by Lumina. They've clearly know what they're doing on the defensive side of Clubhouse. I believe we are going to see the tech timeout now. Ultra managed to pick up 2 kills there and finish off a 3rd. Really important. I think we're going to be seeing 2 players leave here. They do have 5 minutes to regenerate and come back to us with a new game due to the new sound bug that's come in, thanks to Ubisoft's excellent development. But while we're here, we might as well discuss the new season and what that means for us at Revival.
Ooh.
So with the new season brings a new operator. Fenrir, as polled by the community, will be allowed, but that is starting on the Monday, so the next round of games will allow Fenrir to come in and start causing some havoc for us. Fenrir's gadget is, in my opinion, very balanced, but I've heard mixed reviews on it. I think that you can counter him quite efficiently using good team coordination, and I think without good team coordination, he's not as effective. But, you know, those smokes and the fear gadgets really important to see, and I think they're going to be doing a lot of good stuff for us, and I think it's going to be nice to just have a look at what he's going to be, how he's going to be used by these teams. All these teams in these leagues are very capable. Unfortunately, we did lose a team recently Epic Podcast have dropped out and therefore nominated a team up, which is Team Hilux. So, going to be exciting to see Team Hilux coming in. They placed very well in the open qualifiers, just losing out by the skin of their teeth. So we haven't quite seen them in the closed, but they are coming into the Alpha League, and so hopefully we're going to see a good run from them.
Yeah, definitely. Very, very exciting stuff going on all around the league. As of course, the qualifiers were quite lengthy. If you were around last season, they were not quite as lengthy as, of course, we had only 2 leagues. We had only the champions and the premier, and a lot of teams ended up being invited just by the way that the league was organized at the time. Of course, it was the first season. Everything was very, very new. But now we've, of course, expanded with the Alpha League, and a lot of teams were absorbed from other leagues as well and invited by the organization as well. So the qualification process was quite lengthy and very, very tolling on a lot of these players. And of course, they're playing in multiple leagues at the same time. So it's definitely going to be very interesting seeing how these teams fare up against each other in a consistent fashion. Every week, playing against a different team, 7 weeks of playtime. They have time to scrim either each other or other teams in between that as well. So I think we're going to see a lot of development from a lot of these teams, and especially with the rosters being, for the most part, very tied down. It's definitely going to be interesting seeing how these teams actually fare up against each other and who ends up where. There could be a lot of surprises where teams that we expected to go big just cannot find their footing, and teams that we expected to maybe have to requalify in the next season find their path to stardom. So it's definitely going to be an exciting season. And of course, as you mentioned, it is a new season in the game as well, which of course brings the new operator and brings a ton of new gadgets and a ton of new changes to the operators. Of course, we mentioned in the previous game, Smoke lost the shield, which is going to be a huge rotation in a lot of these strats. They're going to have to find a way around that. We've already seen Tachanka getting brought a little bit more, and I think we're going to get to see Tachanka even more so because, of course, last season in the mid-season patch, he got that 1.5 and the 2x on his SMG, and then, of course, he has that shield, and he does Smoke's job, some would say, even a little bit better. He has a lot more of that fire than Smoke has those smoke babes. The only real difference is the fact that Smoke, of course, has that shotgun, the SAS shotgun, which packs such a punch, and he has the SMG-11. But Tachanka, I do believe... No, he does not have the Bearing 9. Or does he? Does he? Yes, he does.
Tachanka does have the Bearing 9
yeah,
as well,
so he's... I think he's definitely going to be taking Smoke's spot in a lot of these strats for a lot of these teams. Or they could be finding another way around that, the way that we saw Lumina or the way they saw Arctic Wolves, rather, in the Chalet game, where instead of bringing Tachanka, they just brought Warden with the shield instead of the C4 to counteract, of course, Smoke not having a shield. Or we could also see people, or teams rather, making up strats where the Smoke with the proxies is actually the strat rather than the Smoke with the shield. So it's going to be very, very interesting map, and of course a very, very interesting season. And of course, the new gadget, the new secondary gadget for the defense, that observation blocker. We saw it just briefly in that one round from Arctic Wolves, and I don't think we've seen it yet. But there we go. Soros is bringing it. Yes, I'm very excited to see how that actually goes, because of course that is an observation blocker for all of your observation tools. So drones, clutch drones, Rotero drones, very, very exciting stuff to see how that actually affects the season.
Yeah, we've actually got a birthday shout-out requested to us. Kunai, happy 21st birthday. Love, Mum.
Aw, that's...
first one of those I've done before. Bit interesting. But yeah, there we are. 21st, not something I'd expect.
Oh, that's...
anyways, yeah, so these these blockers are certainly interesting. A really exciting watch. I am curious to see how they pan out. I wonder if, in order to balance them, they've made sure that cams can't look through them as well, perhaps. Not quite sure. But yeah, definitely really exciting to see. There's lots of new stuff in this season. So far, been pretty successful for me. I haven't lagged out of any games, haven't had any really kind of game-breaking bugs. and I haven't had to deal with too much siege mockery. Looking at it there, though, it looks like it is just a placeable thing that you can deploy, and it seems that Echo drones and defensive gadgets can actually look through it. Not sure if they could go through it, though, as he seemed to sort of just not be able to pass through.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how that gadget pans out, and I think that is a very, very interesting way of actually playing the Echo by breaking up the wall at the very, very top of the wall, right above the reinforcements, to, of course, allow the drone to see through and to see over.
Yeah.
And, of course, there you see exactly that gadget. They cannot see anything further. Of course, the gadget isn't bulletproof. You could still shoot through it, I believe, but, of course, the drones cannot see it, so they have to take a detour, have to look elsewhere to try and find as much information as possible.
Okay,
meanwhile, the defenders are perfectly capable of just looking through that and shooting any drones that might be hiding behind, or even any attackers that might be hiding behind that as well.
Yeah, I think attackers can actually hide behind it, as I think it only blocks out the drones. I think you can view it perfectly fine by yourself. Otherwise, it'd be sort of a smoke grenade. But speaking of this season, Grim has had a rework. It's curious that we haven't seen him yet. He's now got a bailiff, which is the first part of his rework, but it allows him to open up verticals in particular. And there comes in a knock straight away. I mean, well, not a knock.
No, it's not straight away. It's kind of been a while.
A while in, yeah, definitely. I mean, at least a minute in.
Wow, that's an angle.
Yeah,
that is really a very, very interesting angle there from I'm just a noob. He finds the kill, or he finds it down onto Oost. Solros in the meantime getting taken down. Ultra still in a case trying to find some luck from there. Tash is inside of sight, taking so much damage there from Ultra. All of his teammates are down by this point. Zet does find a kill finally onto Tash, but it's a 2 versus 3 effectively. The plant is going down. Ultra not looking the right way. It goes down. Park finds Maggie as well, and it's all down to Zet in a 1 versus 3 as they find a finisher onto Oost as well. The final Echo Burst will go out on one of those attackers, but it will not find anything more than just a bit of a stun. And Park from inside of Moto will shut down Zet. Finally, Arctic Wolves put around on the board. Lumina Gaming pretty much shut down as they just sort of fell apart. I mean, we had so much time there to talk about the gadgets and the season and everything. We didn't really cover anything of the push that was coming from Arctic Wolves, but you could tell just by how much time that we had to discuss all of that is that they were very, very slow. But it wasn't the type of slowness that you normally see, which is very negative, where, you know, they're slow and they don't really know what to do and they don't really know where to go. It was slow, methodical. They were gathering as much information as possible, and once they had the information that they needed, that is when the push started coming down. That's when all of those soft breaches started coming up from above to open up those angles. We saw from just to noob find a brilliant, basically pixel angle there onto Oost, who's just not able to do anything against that. As of course, he doesn't even know that it exists. I don't think he can even peek it back onto him. So yeah, definitely a very, very good push there from Arctic Wolves, and Lumina Gaming just weren't prepared for Arctic Wolves to do such a slow, methodical take. And this time, they're going to counter it a little bit more. They're foregoing that mirror, and they're just going for as much area denial as possible with the Goyo and the smoke.
Yeah, looking at Clubhouse, it's actually been played 232 times so far this season, not including this match, with a 56% win rate, which is 133 of the matches of the 132. So, rounds, yeah, sorry, not games, rounds. Sorry. This week, yeah, 232 rounds have been played so far this season. Not games. Games would be crazy, and I think Retro here would have gone insane.
Yeah, I probably would have, because I probably would have casted the vast majority of them, and I think I'm already going crazy. I'm casting in my sleep at this point. But yeah, it's another attack coming out here onto, again, the same map, and Arctic Wolves are going to have to try, or not the same map, it's always the same map, but it's the same site, and Arctic Wolves are going again for that slow methodical take, but this time, Lumina Gaming, not only are they going for a lot of that area denial, they have also put a player on the roam. I don't think that we saw that much from them in the previous round. I think we could see everyone on site, but this time, that is not the case. They have not one, but 2 players on the roam. It's both Zet and Oost, who's Oost still putting down Vulcan canisters inside of Ludgy, getting spotted out, getting droned out. and they are going to be pushing onto him quite a bit. There goes the breach charge, and there goes the kill onto Oost. Zet, by no doubt, having to rotate around. Or actually, no, he's still there. Through a punch hole, finds a little damage onto Twift, but not enough to get the kill. Solrus there to help. Very, very good from Lumina to learn that they need to be there for those refrags. And as we reach the halfway point of the round, Arctic Wolves have cleared up the top floor and are looking to try and start this execute once more.
Yeah, they've really done a good job at clearing it out there. I mean, we could see the hard support chips actually just sort of making his way down now. I presume he's a hard support as he's always playing breaching operators and typically has the diffuser. We can see him pushing down now. They've got predominantly most of their health. I mean, Twift is taking a little bit of damage, but either way, they've got really good play there. I mean, they really outflanked Oost when he was playing in Logi. 2 operators pushing him at one time. That's just what we want to see, and that's something that we should be seeing from Lumina, especially last game when that blowout occurred. But this is a far closer game. I think it's going to be a lot tighter, especially as the rounds go on.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot tighter, and 45 seconds to go for this attack. They are raining hell from above with those breach charges, with that buck. Solrus getting pushed, or getting pressured quite heavily there from those secret stairs, taking a lot of damage as well. Maggie having to rotate around inside of that moto areas. Of course, they've opened up the hatch, so not able to play those positions yet, but still wasting so much more time here are Lumina. 20 seconds to go for Arctic Wolves. They're getting spotted by those goo mines. Smoke babes are coming out, blocking out a lot of these positions. There goes the breach charge as well onto that wall. Tash going down, but Park finds the kill onto...
10 seconds to go.
I'm not really even sure who, but Chips finds the Zet. Twift finds Ultra, and it's all down to Maggie and Solrus. Solrus finds the kills. They're all both in the same corner. And somehow, what? I thought that was for sure going to be their round, as they had so little time, that Arctic Wolves, and as Tash is curious about it, they were both in the same corner. And that's what I thought would maybe win them the round, just by sitting there and waiting out the clock, as there really wasn't much time. But I held up crying. No. Arctic Wolves tie the score count at 2 rounds apiece, and I hate to say it, but Lumina might be faltering here a little bit again.
Yeah, I mean, really interesting game. I mean, fucking close out of the round there. They just sort of picked each other off. I mean, I don't quite understand what happened. Everyone just sort of collapsed onto the last player, sat in the corner there, which was, I believe, his downfall. So far, we're seeing a 2-2, which is pretty good. I mean, we could see a 3-3 split here going into the attack, which would be breaking the current statistics, which is always good for either team, particularly the attacking side. Or we could see Ultra pick up what they left, go for a 4-2 split, which is more like what we've seen in the statistics so far. I'm not going to say it's more likely, as it's not. I mean, there's just as much chance. We haven't seen any they haven't played CCTV or Cash yet, which is a curious choice, as that is favored by quite a few defenders and attackers alike, as it's a fairly balanced site, still rather defender-sided. But either way, really good attack there. I mean, they managed to just collapse onto them at the end to really just sort of establish victory.
Yeah, good of Lumina to go back to a side that they want quite confidently. It did come down to Ultra basically killing everybody despite the tech issues. Of course, that was the round just before we had to take a tech pause for a little bit. So despite the tech issues that Lumina were experiencing, they still were able to win that in quite a dominant fashion. Are they able to replicate that success here again? They have quite a strong setup here on the side of CCTV and Cash, so although they're not defending that bomb site, they are extending the bomb site that they are defending of Gym and Bedroom all the way to this eastern side of the map, forcing Arctic Wolves to take so much more map control than they probably want to waste time doing. First engagement coming out here from Zet onto just to Noob. Finds a little bit of damage, not enough to kill him, but enough to discourage him from pushing there again. But Twift finds success in an engagement here against Oost, and finds the opening for Arctic Wolves to maybe try and push onto the site.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Oost being picked off again. I mean, he's a good fragger on this side of Lumina, as you sort of pick up those 3 kills last round. So it's going to be quite damaging losing him sort of early on in the round. He seems to be having some sound problems, although despite just having restarted. It is a serious bug, as sound is a big thing in Siege. But nevertheless, Tash picks up Solros. Looks like they're sort of collapsing on site, or the extended site, quite quickly here as they've taken it already.
Yeah, and so many more kills are coming out from the side of Arctic Wolves. Maggie on very low HP, Ultra to boot on that very heavy LMG from the Tachanka. I said that we're going to get to see a lot more of him, and we do, but of course that LMG is not the most favorable gun to have in any type of engagement. Maggie does find a little bit of success, taking down the star player from the previous game, takes down Tash. That's the Iana gun, and the utility that she might have still had in the way of those grenades is gone. Twift makes his way inside of the bomb site, taking a lot of damage from inside of the gold box. Ultra finds the kill onto Twift, immediately traded out, however, by Just a Noob, and Maggie finding Park leaves us in a 1 versus 1. He's worse for wear as far as HP goes. He's running away. They know he's running away. They know exactly where he is. But he wins the gunfight anyway. A nice little swing there onto I'm Just a Noob, putting down a question mark. Why would you swing me like that? What? That is insane seeing that from his perspective. You couldn't even see the attacker in that situation. But Lumina Gaming put themselves back into the driver's seat, retake the lead, and could be looking at a 4-2 split here on their defensive path of Clubhouse.
Really well played there by Gumley. Just lost it out in the end there as Maggie swung the corner on him and managed to find that headshot, shutting him out. Last round before switch, can we see the 4-2 or are we going to see the 3-3 from Wolves? I mean, we saw a confident win here from Lumina Gaming. Last time they were on this very site, but I'm not sure if they're going to see the same thing as Arctic Wolves. They seem to be adapting and learning from the matches they played.
Yeah, they definitely seem to be adapting and learning, and that's a really, really good thing. As of course I said in the previous game when they lost it, that the season is so long. There's 7 weeks of playtime. They're gonna have so much time to go back into those VODs, look at everything that's gone wrong, sit down with their analyst and their coach, and tear down everything apart. So there's gonna be so much time for them to do that. But to see them doing that already, from the one map onto the other with only a couple minutes break in between, is definitely a good sight here for them. And if they could take the lead here, it could really, really bode well for them, and they could be picking up some points here in this matchup, because of course they are down 3 points from this matchup as Arctic Wolves picked up all 3 from the previous map.
Yeah, Arctic Wolves went straight into the first map there, and they managed to win it out with, as we've said earlier, a complete blowout. I mean, there was no sort of trying in there. As I say that, Park manages to find his kill into Solros. Park has actually had a really good game here. I mean, 7 kills so far. That's really quite impressive on his side. Didn't see as much from him. As I say that, he picks up his 8th. Really impressive. But yeah, we've currently got another game going on our Russian stream, if anyone would be interested in watching that, where Eterno have taken their first BO1 against Voltage Gaming.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be another interesting match, and I'm very excited that we have that Russian stream going on, as well as, of course, for our Russian and Russian-speaking fan base to be able to enjoy streams in Russian for when they aren't too interested in these matches, although I think that this is probably going to be one of the biggest matches of the season so far, as it's, of course, the favorites from the previous season and the actual winners of the previous season battling it out. Halfway through the round, Arctic Wolves have slowed down a little bit. They found some success in finding those early 2 picks, but they haven't really gained that much map control, and they still have not got any site control either. Twift just holding an angle, waiting for one of the Lumina players to maybe try to go for a rotate, and Ooze could be the victim of just that, and he might just be, and he will be! Oh, that was really, really bad. Oost, again, the victim of Arctic Wolves' gunfire.
Yeah,
those
wow.
evil eyes spotting them out.
Hidden in the corner.
Tash finding the kill onto Maggie. The plant is down. Ultra, with information, is a little too late on finding the kill onto the planter. Finds one onto Twift. There's so much more information coming out onto these attackers, but of course, he's all alone, and there's unfortunately not an angle that will give him the kill onto that player, but he finds it anyway. That is really, really good position there from Ultra to know that that angle exists and to know that he can get the kill from there. That time is dwindling down. He's only got about 15 seconds at this point to try and go for that diffuser. Of course, it takes 7.5 seconds to actually get that diffuser down, and as that timer starts to dwindle away, it's now over. Even if he finds the final 2 kills, sliver of HP, 1 versus 2, time will run out on him, and Amjastinu will pick him up with the pistol to end the round. Arctic Wolves managed to tie the scoreline again to tie up the
3-3 split going into the fences, looking very hopeful on the side of Arctic Wolves. Ultra really getting trapped in these last sort of 1v2, 1v1 positions. He's handling them very well, I must admit. He's done a very good job so far. It's been close, very close, not to take it away. As some he has lost, but he just seems to be getting trapped in these positions. He was previously on the Arctic Volps roster until that dissolved to be rebuilt, and he's moved over to Lumina, which used to have been a good choice for him. Judging that by how well he's done so far in this game. I mean, 5-5 is a respectable lineup so far, completely. That is a 1 KD overall, and I think there's nothing to be ashamed of here. And looking on the side of the Arctic Wolves, we can see a very close together sort of bundle of kills. We can see Park leading with 8, followed by Gumley on the 7, who is I'm Just Too Noob. Then we can see it followed by Twift and Tash. Tash not quite what we saw from the first game, still playing very well though, just playing the softer role. Chips trailing behind with the 1, but I'm led to believe that is due to him being obviously his hard sport role, which requires him not to be in as many gunfights, but he picked up the kill to where he needed it. So, going very well for them, both teams here. A 3v split is a very close game, and I think we're going to be seeing more close stuff as it goes on.
I 100% agree. Arctic Wolves, for their first defensive round, will find the first kill Twift onto Oost. Oost has really, really not been lucky at all this game so far, or this matchup rather. He was the opening kill most of last game, or most of last map. He's been the opening pick for most of this map as well, and Twift, in a gunfight that he absolutely should not have won, wins anyway against Ultra. Lumina Gaming lead themselves in only a 3 versus 5 with just about 30 seconds to go. Happy typing out, why are you gonna do him like that? I agree. Twift finding his 3rd. He could be going for an ace here. Zat is looking to deny just that. He will find a kill. Denies the ace, denies the flawless as well. Taking a lot of damage, but of course is Finka, so he's able to replenish a little bit of that HP. Maggie's still on the roof trying to find some pressure on the other side of the map with those Selma charges. Undoubtedly, oh no, flashing himself in an attempt to flash at the player playing behind that shield. Maggie, in the meantime, finds I'm Just a Noob inside of construction. That's another good opening. Zach finally finds the finisher onto Tash, and now it's a 2 versus 2. A round that was looking all Arctic could just go to Lumina if they play this hand right. Halfway point through the round, this is still very, very doable. 2 versus 2.
Yeah, I mean, a breacher and a fragger here is very, very much a doable round. Wolves do have the site, and they have got the top fragger left alive, as well as the hard sport who's there for a reason. He's got to be able to be used in a clutch situation. It's just down to if we're going to be able to see that skill from them today. I mean, we can see them trying to drone Park out, as Park is now trapped inside of Logi. No flashbangs left, which would have become really useful here. I mean, he's just wasting that time as he needs to. And the frost mat sits below. Will Zet be able to get it?
He could, of course, shoot it through the wall, but that would require him to actually have information about that. And the drone did go through, did spot out the defender, but did it spot out the utility that sits below the rotate? There goes the swing, and there goes the kill. Park picks up 1, but immediately traded out. It's a 1 versus 1. Both operators on full HP. Chips rotating away to main stairs, shoots out that drone, gives away his position to Maggie, who is trying to go for that plant. The camera will give out the sound cue as well. There goes the C4, and the C4 will pick him up. Chips wins that round. And wow, what a round it was. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful C4 toss. there from Maggie to win that, or from
Chips.
Chips. My bad. From Chips to throw that C4 to win that round. Arctic Wolves put themselves in the lead for the first time actually in this matchup, which is really surprising considering the previous game where they were leading the whole way through. So Lumina definitely putting up a fight, and at 3-4 split, definitely not all over, and Lumina still are in this fight for sure.
Wow, what a round. I mean, I was on the edge of the seat and I was biting my lip at the end of that. Excellent C4 coming out there from Chips. I mean, it landed almost perfectly, catching him wherever he tried to run. That's why we have hard supports, and that's what their job is, really. I mean, to pick up those last kills when we need them. Really good job. Really impressed. I mean, it was close. Really impressed by Lumina as well. I mean, it's 2 versus 4. I mean, that was almost pretty much, you could say, an Arctic round. And then they managed to close it out again, picking up those kills. I believe it was Magi and Zet.
Yeah.
Really did well. Really picked up those kills. I bet Ultra was relieved not to be in that position again. But yeah, they absolutely nailed it. Really nothing to be ashamed of about how they played that round.
Definitely, it was a very good round from them, as you say. Nothing to be ashamed of. And, they find quite a lot of damage there onto Twift, who peeks again and finds the kill onto Zet. That's a very important player there to go down. A very vital player so far. He's been with 7 kills to his name, but of course playing that Ying as well. Very, very important operator. They do find the trade onto Twift, leaving us even again as far as men go, 4-4. But that could hurt them. This could hurt even more as they lose Oost as well again, and that's gotta hurt Tash on this roam. With the Oryx, we see teams do this. Most notably, most recently, Oblivion XC love to do that Oryx roam inside of Gym Bedroom on the basement defense, and it looks like that's something that Arctic Wolves are trying to achieve here as well. And it so far has struck gold as they found Oost from that push, or from that roam rather.
Yeah, I mean, the Zet trade onto the Swift is important for both sides. I mean, Zet has eliminated the top, wasn't a trade, I believe Magi actually picked up the kill, but they managed to eliminate the top frag, one of the top fraggers on the side of Arctic Wolves. Let's just correct myself before I say something incorrect then. But in doing so, they lost so much utility. I mean, losing Oost as well on top is a lot of utility and another gun. Nonetheless, which is never something you want to lose. Tash picks up another onto Magi, and I think it is safe to say Arctic round. As I say that, Tash just runs straight into his bullets and gets picked up again. A 3 versus 1, not a easy win, but not flat out impossible.
Definitely not flat out impossible, especially as he's finding the footsteps of one of the players playing still below. I think that was just a noob who took a little bit of damage and dealt a little bit of damage as well. Or I think, actually, that was Park, I believe. So he didn't take any damage, and he dealt quite a bit of it. 45 seconds to go. Again, not completely unwinnable, but it's going to be very, very difficult. This hatch is well and good and open.
Yeah, that means that
putting him out as well. Sorry.
That gives him 20 seconds to push. I mean, Chips has got, Chips has got 2 babes in his pocket, which means he can actually shut out any pushes that he makes. So he needed to make his decision previously so that he could rotate around. But now looking at it, I mean, his position is pretty much sealed. And now Chips using up one of his spades, that still leaves one. And that denies the plan. I mean, he doesn't even have the diffuser. He's relying on the kills here. Diffuser's on site. There's the kill. Chip's still alive. As I say that, Gunley picks up his kill. That was a very hard situation for him to win. I mean, he got 2 kills, which is impressive nonetheless, but still difficult for him. Question marks coming out as they request their timeout.
Yeah, they request their timeout. They don't really need it. Wait, Lumina, how are they... Oh, no, that was last game.
Last game was their first time out, so they've taken their second. Yeah.
Yes, I was a little bit confused. My games blended together, but no, they're taking their time out again. Last time they took it when they were down 5-0, and they managed to win a round off the back of a rush that I don't know if they discussed it during that timeout or if they discussed something else, but hopefully this time, if it is going to follow with a rush, that it works out for them. Arctic Wolves have extended their lead put themselves just a step away from match point, and that could really spell trouble for Luminas. Of course, then they have to be completely flawless for the rest of the game, win 3 rounds in a row, which so far they've not been able to do. The most they've been able to do was 2 rounds in a row, and that was the first 2 rounds. It was the first 2 rounds that got a lot closer than they should have. They both got down to basically a clutch from one of the players. It was first Oos going absolutely crazy, and then it was Ultra going equally as crazy on Gym Bedroom. So they're going to have to try really, really hard to actually finally find that momentum and try and win multiple rounds in a row here to hopefully close it out in regulation, if not pick up all 3 points, to pick up all 3 points. If not, at the very least, take it to overtime and pick up a couple points from winning it there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the scoreline now, that gives Lumina what I like to call an error round. So if they win their next round, they then have an error round where even if Arctic win, they only have to win 1 or 2 to bring it back into their control and put it into OT. So this error round can be very important as it can save teams completely, as it gives them one last chance. It's like an extra life in the defensive or the attacking form. Arctic really have had quite a dominant performance on defense. They've had sorts of blowouts both times starting with it, but then the odds have been evened a little bit as the attackers have sort of picked up a couple of kills here and there. It's gotten very close at times, sort of 1v1s or 1 versus 2s, but nonetheless, it's very well played by both teams there, and I think Arctic, if they can continue on where they're going, maybe a little bit less aggressive to balance things out with those last few rounds, I really think that'll be doing them a favour. However, we are seeing Oos sort of coming in rafters there, which could hint at possibly trying to rush site or just trying to clear it out as quick as possible. I could be wrong completely, but really good echo drone setup there from the side of Chips.
Wait, is that? No, I think Chips was just, or Tash was just watching this. I was like, is he controlling that? But no, I think it was Chips that was controlling it. There goes our jump out from Tash that Zet was not aware of at all. Is the victim of that first kill again on the side of Lumina.
I mean, yeah, Zet opened up that window and then just wasn't ready for the jump out to come from it. Really well played there by Tash. They are going to know he's there now, but he's got quite a dominant position now as he has taken that kill, which is one of the top fraggers, and a lot of utility wasted.
Definitely a lot of utility wasted so far, and it's going to be quite a challenge for them to try and find something here. Despite that wall being open, Tash is basically still has free roam of this entire area on the western side of the map, and there goes the swing, and there goes the kill as well. He looks to find another one. He will not find it. Oost, in the meantime, goes down inside of the bedroom. Twiff will find another one. Justinu picks up the finisher onto Oost, and it's all onto Solros. The diffuser is cold, dead, and on the ground. And in a 1 versus 5 with a minute to go, all he can really do is discuss it with his team, take this as a fake timeout, or try to win something out, but it's unlikely to go his way unless Arctic Wolves really get silly in this game.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, Noob is already trying to hit him with a deagle. Interesting from Gumley here. I mean, it's worked before. We've seen, I think, 2 deagle kills and a pistol.
Oh, there it is.
Again, for the flawless as well. Slorus actually typing in curses into the chat, trying to curse the Arctic Wolf players. Wow, really impressive round there. That takes away Lumina's error round. I mean, that was their error round gone. That was their first chance. They've one more chance, and they don't even have that one more chance. This is their lifeline. They have to win this next round, or Zet's crashed.
Oh, no, not again.
Well, there's another 5 minutes of chattering you guys have got to deal with. Currently, that is a really well played by Arctic Wolves. Maybe they're doing this on... Bro warmed up for this on Golden Gun.
Yeah. Maybe they are. But definitely not looking good here for the side of Lumina. Of course, as you say, they lost their air round. They have to be absolutely flawless through the rest of this match, and they have to win 3 rounds in a row. again, something that they've not done yet. And in fact, as I say that, they've not won a round in 4 rounds. They've lost all 4 of the previous rounds. They were looking pretty good as they were on that 3-3 split, looking to maybe even get a 4-2 split there at the end of the half. But for now, they're just looking absolutely hopeless, and that really is disappointing because it's not something that you expect to see from Lumina, but it's also not something that you want to see from Lumina. They're definitely not a team that gets shut out like this, even against a team like Arctic Wolves, which of course we've spoken time and time again about. They won the last season. They're definitely favorites to win it this season again, defending champs. But still, even a team like Arctic Wolves is not supposed to be shutting Lumina Gaming this way. And I really, really worry for them if they are not able to fix a lot of these mistakes, which so far I would say in their Chalet game, it was an absolute complete lack of awareness and lack of flank watch, which we do see from them again here. The only thing that helps them in that way is the fact that Clubhouse is a lot less of a flank-heavy map. And a lot less of a roam-heavy map, so it's not really that necessary to have a lot of flank watch the way that you need to have it on Chalet. But that is a mistake that they need to fix. Then it comes down to translating information into getting actual kills, winning their gunfights, and being there for the trades. Those are 4 very, very big mistakes that Lumina Gaming have been making throughout this entire matchup, and it's something that I really hope, for their sake, that they manage to fix. If not by round 2, definitely by the end of the season, because, I mean, none of the teams that are in the Champions League are going to be easy opponents for them or are going to be easy games. So, and these mistakes are just basic Siege. They're Siege 101, and that's something that you need to have under your belt if you're thinking of competing in Revival Champions League. And I would hate to see a team like Lumina Gaming, God forbid, get relegated at the end of the season because they aren't able to fix these basic things. So I'm hoping that it's just, a little bit rusty because it's the start of the season. It's only round 1. But that's still, again, as I say, basics that they need to have under their belt, that they need to have covered in order to win games.
Yeah, I mean, Lumina have always impressed me as a organisation. I mean, they're very successful in their CSGO endeavours, and typically they're very successful in their Siege ones as well. I mean, they are, I believe, rated Class E on the RCS server, which is the official ranking guide for T4 and above, including lots of pro levels for their scrims, which is low-level nationals.
Yeah, definitely very, very impressive team, and that's exactly why I say is that this isn't a team that you see making these mistakes, but they could be going for a rush here, as of course they have Maggie on the, what's her name? Oh my goodness, Azami, Aruni, it's Amaru, that's her name. There goes the exothermic charge, and there goes Park with the first kill onto Zed, but Maggie finds that trade. It's a double C4 from Chips to finds 2. Maggie finds it with another shotgun kill onto Tash. Solros shutting down Chips. They could be finding something here. 2 versus 2, not even a round gone, not even a minute gone, rather. Maggie finds the 3rd with that shotgun. It's all down to Twift, the star player so far of this matchup at the very least, or of this map at the very least. Getting flashed out a little bit. The plant going down from Solros. Shotgun in hand for Maggie. 20 HP, miraculously still alive. The plant will go down. Twift having to break this Kiba barricade to give himself an end back into the Logi room. Of course, giving away his position. Where are you looking, Maggie? Oh my god, he finds the kill, putting us into a 1 versus 1 situation again. And he finds the final kill as well!
Wow.
Oh my god. What have I just seen? What have I just watched? Do you know that clip of the late kicks? It was Beast Coast against, I can't remember what team they were playing against, but they were playing on Consulate back when it was in comp. And when he says, "Why are you sprinting, Bio?" when he screamed that one, that is basically me to Maggie. Where are you looking, Maggie? And also to Solros, where are you standing, Solros? Because what was that? That was such a misplay. They had that round, and it's another round that was all Lumina that they just gave away for free. There was 2 of those in the Chalet game, and there was 2 of those in this game as well. And I'm at this point definitely impressed with the way the Arctic Wolves were able to bring that round back, but just so disappointed in Lumina, who I really expected to go big, and I expected this to be, a double OT for both maps, to be a really, really exciting game, and instead, Arctic Wolves come away from it with 6 points, and enough time to catch dinner and a movie before bedtime. I mean, what just happened?
Definitely. I mean, we have got an interview lined up that's coming in. Park on the side of Arctic Wolves has requested to come in for an interview, and we've been planning on starting them anyway, so I thought we'd give him a chance. But yeah, really well played there. I mean, I can't believe Twift managed to pick that up in the end. The 2 versus 1. The rush comes in. We really thought they wanted to take it. Wow. Absolutely outstanding. Really impressed. Really, really impressed by the Arctic Wolves. If you couldn't tell, they are me and Happy's team. We do own the Arctic Esports organization.
You just had to say it. You just had to say it.
I'm proud of how we played today, and I'm happy to say that we own them.
Are we going to do the interview? Do you want to take the lead on the interview?
If you'd like, yeah. Park, how do you think that game went for the Arctic Wolves?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, we just, man to man, box to box. We knew what they were bringing, and we just bring it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, excellent. Really well played there from you guys. Really exciting match to watch. How does it feel knowing that is your second win against? That actually balances you out in wins against Lumina. Going into this, you were 3-1 in matches 1 to them.
Oh, obviously, we had bigger games coming up, so we wasn't really worried about it. Obviously, the skill difference there was shown today. We made a roster change since we last played them when we lost, and we had an RGO, and that really proved off today. So big up Chips. Yeah, we knew what they were bringing. We knew how to sort them out. We knew how to hold them. We was literally in their backyard, in their front yard, in their garden, in their kitchen, in their bedroom, and yeah.
Excellent. So that is the Arctic Wolves paying Lumina's houses a visit. Going over to Lumina now. Lumina, how would you think that match went for you guys?
Well, I don't know. How well does a plus ever go?
Well, I mean, they can always bring in a learning result. I think you guys definitely held your own. You didn't.
We didn't. Don't try.
You did well. And I'm hoping to see more for you for the rest of the season. Can we be looking forward to a improved Lumina for the rest of the season?
I mean, we'll try to do whatever we can. The issue was mostly in communications. Like, we weren't in the game today, and it really showed.
Okay, what's the feeling in the Lumina VC right now?
Solus already went to sleep because he was up all night yesterday, so it's feeling about as good as it can get, honestly.
Sleepy then. Excellent. Well, thank you for coming, both of you. It's really been thank you for coming, both of you.
Thank you for having us here.
Excellent match.
Thank you for slamming us, Bert.
GG's. Good luck. Please beat Ultivolts for me.
We'll try not to disband before the finals. So we can play in the finals again.
Not another disband in there. Jesus. Anyway, we're on straight. We'll talk about it after. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That was a Zet and Park on the side of Lumina and the Arctic Wolves.
Nice.
So, who's your MVP for that match?
I think it has to be Twift. I mean, looking just on my notes, every single time that I logged a kill, it was Twift. Twift onto Zet, Twift onto Oost, Twift onto Zet, Twift onto Oost. It was Twift, all over the place. And I just have to give it to Twift. And not to mention, of course, the final round of that clutch that was in absolutely no way supposed to be an Arctic Wolves round that actually went to them because of the Twift clutch. So, yeah, I think we have to give it to Twift just because of that. But I don't know if you disagree, I guess we're going to have to fight here. But I would definitely give it to Twift.
There's no disagreeing with Twift. Really, really well played. That 2 versus 1 at the end with a minute fraction of health. Managing to pick up 2 headshots nonetheless on 2 very lost-looking Lumina players. Really well done by Twift. Definitely my MVP.
Yeah, definitely my MVP as well. So I'm glad that we agree on that, and there's not going to have to be any bloodshed. But that was that game. I'm not really sure if we have any games already set for tomorrow, but in any case, whether we do or whether we don't, make sure to keep those notifications on for this Twitch channel and, of course, the Exodus channel on twitch.tv/Exodus to catch any of our Russian streams throughout the rest of the season. I've been Retro. He has been Summon the Nerds. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you all, at the very least, next week, if not this week. Good night.
I think we'll see him tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm paying gray, all dust and fade. When I call for you, all I hear back is pain. Every song must end, even diamonds fade.